Good night, BLP family. Good night to the people of St. Michael. Good night to Barbados. And a special good night to the constituents of St. Michael Central. Tonight I've come to you to talk to you about this whole question of leadership. I come to you tonight to speak with you tonight in the name of the middle class of this country who have been decimated by the pernicious policies of the Democratic Labour Party. I come to you tonight to speak in the image of the working class of this country who have been driven into poverty by the misguided and wicked policies of this government. I also come to speak with you tonight in the name of the thousands of sixth formers in this country, young people at the Barbados Community College, young people at the Samuel Jackman Prescott Polytechnic, and the young people in first and second year at the University of the West Indies who have been betrayed by the leader of the Democratic Labour Party. And I want to spend some time with you showing you why you should have no confidence in Frandil Stewart. I also want to speak with you and allow you to compare Frandil Stewart and Mia Amor Motley. This election is about leadership. And one of the characteristics of leadership is being trustworthy. Not only trustworthy, but you must be worthy of trust. And I want to read to you tonight an article from the Nation newspaper on the 24th of November 2011, when the leader of the Democratic Labour Party addressed the graduating students from the Barbados Community College. I think what is so noteworthy about this is that the leader of the Democratic Labour Party spoke at length about the inequality in the system in this country. And people walk around this country and tell you that his mother was a maid so that he should understand the poor people. And I want to read some things from that speech to you to show to you how he has betrayed the young people of this country. And he should never, ever receive a vote from the young people in this country. And I'm reading from the Nation newspaper. This is where I'm reading from. And it marked PM's word. Tertiary education will remain free, says Stewart. And this is what he had to say. And listen carefully, my friends. It is most important for you. Quoting from the Prime Minister, I firmly believe it would be a retrograde step if we were to dismantle equal access to education by the reimposition of tuition fees at the tertiary level. Universal access to tuition-free education was a deliberate piece of social engineering that has handsomely that has delivered handsomely on its investment. It has helped to create a large and vibrant middle class and a relatively prosperous and enlightened citizenry who enjoyed a high standard of living. This is what Mr. Stewart said. He said, addressing the 30th graduation ceremony of the BCC, Stewart said that the country's model of free education across the board was admired and praised by international development agencies for its extraordinary emphasis on human capital and the contribution it had made to the country's exemplary progress. This is what Stewart said. And he goes on to say, this free education also meant that students could enter the workforce without the added burden of having to repay student loans or grants. This is what the Prime Minister said. And the headline is, Prime Minister Stewart says tertiary education will remain free across the board, dismissing suggestions that only the less well-off should receive state subsidies. Now, this was the leader of the Democratic Labour Party on the 24th of November 2011. On the 13th of July 2013, the 13th of July 2013, Chris Sinclair brought the budgetary proposals to Parliament, the Minister of Finance. And between pages 79 to 81, Christopher Sinclair imposed on the young people of this country the burden of having to pay tuition fees at the University of the West Indies. Frandl Stewart is the leader of the Democratic Labour Party. Stewart sat in the House Assembly and voted in favor of students at the University of the West Indies paying tuition fees. He agreed to this. This man who is leader of the government, this man who a mere 18 months before promised the young people of this country that it will remain free. And now these wicked people walking around this country begging the young people for a vote. They have no soul and should be banished from ever occupying government in this country again. This is the people that come to you and begging you for a vote. A man who is said that his mother was a maid, who understands what it is to be poor, understanding full well that is important for our young people to have free access to tertiary level education. And as for Chris Sinclair, he is another one that I remember him well from 2nd Avenue, Lennox and Goodland, because he used to live in 3rd Avenue, Lennox. And all of a sudden, he has forgotten from whence he came. But he shall soon return from whence he came. And And the sad thing about it is that these vagabonds that masquerading as a government ain't only kick down the ladder, but as a friend of mine told me only Saturday morning, what they have done to the poor people in this country is that they have pulled up the ladder because you can't get on it anymore. So they have not kicked it down, because if you kick it down, somebody can take it up and you can claim it. So they have not kicked it down. They have taken it up with them. But time longer than twine. And it is soon that this country will be rid of these vagabonds. And let us talk about leadership and about being trustworthy. My friends, I want you to do something for me. I want you to use your analytical minds, and it's important that you do, to compare a lady, Mia Amor Motley. Not only a lady, but a lady who is not only intelligent, but a lady who is not only erudite, a lady who is not only compassionate, a lady who communicates with people, a lady who understands the needs of this country, a lady who has promised, a lady who has kept her promise. And as she said, and this is for all the aspiring students who will go to the University of West Indies, and those who are in first and second year. And listen carefully, my friends. Come September 2018, there shall be no more fees for the students at the University of the West Indies. That is a solemn promise that will be kept by this leader and this party. That is how you can compare the two. Persons who are not only trustworthy, but persons who can be trusted. But not only that, you remember that in the run-up to the 2013 election, the same said leader said that there will be no more persons will not be sent home. You remember that. And in one swell swoop, over 3,000 to 4,000 people were sent home. And I was told that there has some person on the news yesterday, I think he's General Secretary or something, talking a bunch of nonsense on CBC, that if you elect this government, that they will send home people. A nonsensical, I don't know if it's the term idiot, that is praising him, ma'am. You can't praise people like that. But this is people that we have of the mouthpiece. That was enough as it relates to leadership. I want to spend my remaining time here to speak about some of the issues affecting St. Michael's Central. And as I've said before at the last meeting, some person of the Democratic Labour Party or closely affiliated to the Democratic Labour Party will spend some time in jail. Because this country needs transparency and good governance and accountability. And if what I'm hearing is correct, somebody needs to tell this country how it is that a spouse of a minister in this country can have a duty-free concession as it relates to a vehicle. Somebody needs to explain that to this country. And the person know who it is. And they cannot cook the books because they're invoices. So they might as well bring them. But let me turn to St. Michael's Central. I want to spend some time. Only yesterday, I happened to have Gordon's Road clean for the young people of St. Michael's Central. But I was told that sometime in Parliament Friday that the MP, I notice I'm using my words very carefully, the MP are not the representative because they're two distinct different things. I was told that the MP said something in Parliament about that that they erect a standpipe in Bellevue Gap. I guess or that the water get turned on at the standpipe at Bellevue Gap. Yes, that there's a pipe in there. A pipe. And you know that a man, an MP, come to the people of Parliament and call that an accomplishment, yeah? For 10 years. But that's an accomplishment. For 10 years, he's boasting that there's a standpipe now turn on in Bellevue Gap. But he should tell the people where it is. It is so coincidental that the standpipe right side there, his secretary house. So that, I don't know if he was catering for them, but ask him why he can't go in Gordon's Road and talk to the people. No, there's some called representation. Tell him to go and speak to Mrs. John in 3rd Avenue, Gordon's Road. Ask him to do that. The lady who gets $380 every 2 weeks. And go on to the QEH to get medication for glaucoma. They ain't got none in the hospital. Give her a slip to go in town to get it. That costs $150. But tell him to do that. I ask him to go and speak to the people in Longford Place. Ask him to go to Waterhall and the people in St. Michael's Central won't work. The aspiring, they won't work. They want to contribute to the development of this country. They don't want handouts. Representation means speaking with the people, talking to the people, communicating with the people, understanding the needs of the people. Ask him to do something for the bin pastor that want cleaning, so that the young people in Waterhall and Pastor Road can go and play football. Tell him to get work for the people in Burrell Avenue and Niles Road, the people in Wall Lime. In 2013, he promised that in Leinster Road that he would give the people a shop. Yes, he said that in Savannah Road that he would create kiosks for people to sell fruits. We in 2018. The people deserve better. They want better. And that's what we need to do. And I never get the opportunity to talk about the failed programs. Right. He is supposed to be Minister of Social Care. Presided over this country from 2010 to 2016. During that period from 2010 to 2016, the poverty levels in this country moved from 15.1% to 17.5%, which is an increase of over 6,000 persons who were thrown into poverty by the policies of this wicked government. And if you average it out, over 6 years, 1,000 people each year were thrown into poverty. And this minister walking about saying that he can rename the Ministry of Welfare. He can get a new brand name. The people don't want a new name. The people in this country want policies to improve their standard of living. And it cannot be accomplished with these vagabonds whose sole aim is to get rich, who have no concern about the welfare of the young people, old people of this country. And we need to send a message to this Democratic Labour Party, who at this point in time is a leaderless bunch, because they ain't got no leader. We need to send a strong message. And it is a very simple message. Very simple. That whenever elections are called in this fair land, go out in your numbers and get rid of them. And while we are on that subject, there was also, I saw an article in the newspaper, I believe this last week, where a minister said about no vote buying or something in 2018. I think I saw that at some kind of article. But it would be most interesting if the other members of the Democratic Labour Party can speak to that. If they attempt to speak to that, the only thing they can come to this country and say, not that there's no vote buying, they will come to this country and say, if they are not ashamed, no more vote buying in 2018. And you can start from the north and go south, and go east and go west. That is what they will have to come to tell the good people of this country. Not no vote buying, no more vote buying. And my friends, I want to say to you in closing, whether you like it or not, they got enough money to spend. Because we know why they got and how they got enough money to spend. So all I want you to do, in your wisdom, because they don't know who you vote for, if they come and offer you money, my friends, take their money, eat them out, drink them out, and vote them out. Good night and God bless.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.